This entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gab-fed show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. You have the code into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
And do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
My birds. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is the 31st of March. Wow, where is 2025 flying? Some of us may think, woo, it needs to get out of here already. And some of us are like, no, we want more. I don't know which ones you are, but today is Art of the Deal. Now, I know we've heard this. Wow, look at good morning, Tracer, that is our Terry. Good morning, David. Good morning, Fran. Wow, good morning, you people. All bright and cheery this morning on a Monday. Good to see everybody. So yeah, we're gonna do Art of the Deal. And H is my fave. He's always in my background. He's always in my ear. He plays my birds every morning. I love him with my birds. So we go through life from the time we were born, making these little deals. You're like, no, we don't, MJ, but we do. We do. We are a deal-making kind of human. And the Art of the Deal has become a dubbed name with books and impressions around So Said President. But I want you to take that focus. I want you to remove that focus, because if anybody doesn't like the administration or has a hiccup of the administrations, remove that awakening from your mind, because we're not going to talk about Mr. Trump and his Art of the Deal. We're not doing it. We are talking about what the actual words Art of the Deal stand for. And we're going to do some flipping of a human condition pattern of Art of the Deal. And you're like, we don't have Art of the Deal. Yeah, from the time you were born, there was always a deal. Believe it or not, the deal was your parents probably made some sort of deal. If I feed the child, you have to change the child, or you have to bathe the child. It's an Art of the Deal, right? Well, what does one person get from the other? And you were probably just this little bitty thing going, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Why are we making a deal already? But this is all, hello, all DJs. This is how the Art of the Deal started. Even in our unconscious mind of a child that nothing up here was developed when we're born, we overheard the deals between our parents, the deals between our siblings, if we had an older sibling as a child, we heard the art of the deal with mommy making the deal with the older child, right? Baby, can you go get Sissy's bottle or baby brother's bottle? I promise I'll turn on your favorite cartoon. We were learning this art of the deal at a very, very young age, and we didn't even be aware of it, right? So here we are, art of the deal. You're like, but MJ, what's that have to do with us? Because the art of the deal is literally either learning how to manipulate another person, or the art of the deal is learning how to bring in the call of action if you're a business person, or the art of the deal is learning, and this is the negative side, how to get what you want and push everybody else behind, right? There's a lot of art of the deals, and every single art of the deal has to become balanced. So if you are that persona of the middle art of the deal that becomes balanced on both sides, then both sides win. If you become the art of the deal where it's only about you, the other side loses, and then you're going to have to face this event again, some way, somehow, some reason. And then the art of the deal to where you just want to walk away and let the other person win in total. You're going to have to come back and do that again too. So the only real win in art of the deal is to balance that crap out. You hear me? You got to balance it. And anytime that you feel that it is in an imbalance, it is now up to you to balance this. We have to balance. If you don't balance, then you have the negative side of the emotions of the unconsciousness and the positive of your consciousness. So who really won? So we need to balance. That is the art of the deal. The art of the deal is balancing, leaving everybody harmonious, leaving everybody happy, leaving everybody to do what they want. And that's very difficult because the human mind from birth has changed it. And I just showed you those. Mom and dad, well, I'll feed, you do the diapers. Or you change the diaper, I'll start the bath. Or you get the food ready and I'll do this. That was beginning in the mind that was freshly new here, right? And now you get a little older and you have brothers and sisters and they just want to help baby brother or baby sister because they're so excited to have one at that age. But they get, if anybody had brothers and sisters, it wasn't always love and roses. It was like War of the Roses half the time with our brothers and sisters because we had to literally fight for everything we wanted. We had to struggle for everything we wanted, right? Especially as kids, because as a child sitting there crying that she took my Barbie or she took my whatever it was, my chair, was it really a significant event that happens? Was it really that significant that we had to cry? Or we had to learn the art of the deal? And this is where it all comes down. We have to learn these arts and we have to learn these things. So, we go further in life where mommy then gets tired of the children, right? She's tired or the daddy's tired. So what is it? I promise, baby, if you just help me and get me these things and get everything together, I promise tomorrow we'll go and do X, Y, and Z. It's always a barter system with parents, with children, the art of the deal. We are trying to barter our way to get the child like a mule to push it to do it what we want it to do, while everybody else just kind of has, their fun in the sun. So we learn these controls and these mechanisms very young because of man, right? The human kind of types. So we just move on. Now we would think, okay, well, we have it our parents, then we have it with our siblings. Now here comes the babysitters and the daycare, right? So here comes babysitters and daycares. Here, I'm going to make a deal with you. I will let you stay up an extra hour if you just allow me to talk on the phone right now to my X, Y, and Z, right? Because let's face it, babysitters are 12, 13, 14 years old. And what do they like to do? They like to jabber and chat, right? So you're making deals now when you're supposed to be watching children. You're actually making the deals with the child. Now, remember when you were a child, how many deals did you try to make with your babysitter? Come on. They'll never know. I won't tell. I promise. Even if it was for that extra popsicle or that extra piece of candy or, staying above their bedtime 5 or 10 minutes. They tried that barter of art of the deal like no, I know I did. I'm not, not guilty as the child of the babysitter. I always push the limits on the babysitter. I remember those things. And so I remember when I have my kids, I'm like, oh, karma's going to be on my babysitters. So I had to make sure I had a really strong babysitter, because if they followed any part of me, yikes, right? And these beautiful blossoms are part of me because I spore them. Oops, I just slobbered all over myself. So now what do we do, right? Now we have to go back, and now we just have to smile and understand, oh boy, these are life lessons as a child that I did not obviously win. So now we have art of the deal as an adult facing what we were doing as children. And now here we are. Here we are with our own kids, right? Art of the deal. It comes in many sizes, many forms, and it starts very, very young. So we have to sit now, and we're going to take an early break, because then the next part of the art of the deal is going to get a little long. So this was the fun one, because we can all remember the child side, that we can all remember how it is that, we manipulated to get our way as a child. The temper tantrums, look at the child today with the temper tantrums, art of the deal. So these are all young. And I hear my birds, and that means my H train singing my praise. So we're going to go. I'm MJ. You are listening to the World of Conscious Positive Thinking at mbradio.us, who is where the veterans get a chance to have a voice. We love our station. We love our tribe. So let's go to a commercial. We'll be right back.
I'm looking for one. Hold on a second.
In the meantime, I'm going to.
I wish there was some place that I could go, where I got the promise to never be alone. These bars all have last call, and my friends, they ain't home. I wish there was some place that I could go, with a heartache this big, a bottle this small. I don't think I'm ready to deal with it all. I need a 24-hour heartbreak saloon, where they never have last call and play country
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Welcome back. I'm MJ here at the World of Conscious Positive Thinking. That was Dallas Alexander with Heartbreak Saloon. That was a good one to start us off with this beautiful Art of the Deal, episode 39 to this episode. So we talked about the infant coming in, just as an infant soul, coming into life with our parents and maybe our siblings. And now we get a little older. We get to be between that 7 and I want to say 12, 13, where now we are making the art of the deal. We've heard everybody make a deal, right? From the time we were born. Now we're in school. So now we're going to make a deal, right? Now we're going to make a deal with our friends, right? Because now you forgot your pencil and your friend's going to make a deal saying, well, here, I'll lend you my pencil if you help me at recess, right? Okay. Or you help me with my math homework, but I'll lend you a pencil. Or I want to have the art of the deal, which is I'm mad at so-and-so and you need to be too, right? Because we have to have a friend. So how many people now have kids out there, or you remember going, you're not my friend. Now you're my friend. Well, now you're not my friend, right? And it's funny because when my kids were going to school, I had to hear every day. I said, well, how was your day? Well, so-and-so's not my friend. Well, okay, what happened? That they're not your friend. So the art of the deal of making friendships. How did that go over? How many friends did you unfriend and friend? How many problems did you have to go through in your adolescence, right? Before you were 18. So that 6, 7-year-old to about 12 years old, you had all these pinky swear, sisters, pinkies, right? We had the pinky swear. That was the art of the deal. See how our minds absorbs like computers. So from the time we were born and now we're taking the process, now you can understand where the art of the deal formulated. You heard our parents, but in an unconscious state of mind, or was it a conscious state of mind just on this earth that, yeah, there's some, people say they remember their births. I have a hard time. I don't know if I can remember anything under 3 years old unless it was a repetitive thing that was talked about, or a horrific event at 2 years old, which I don't think I've had any horrific events at 2 years old. Most of my knowledge either came from meditations and or people talking about it, or old pictures that they would talk about, because actually trying to place myself there takes a lot of like removing of space within the brain, and then actually going into a deep guided meditation to take you back to that time and place. And it's plausible. It is plausible, but it's not something on the conscious that we think about. It's not something on the conscious that, that we relish. So we tend to just part and parcel go with what we remember, because what we remember has to play within our life path, or our life purpose and our soul purpose, which means we go through these life having these events and learning whatever we can on the way, right? So we learned how we're not going to be a friend one day and not the other. I mean, that is a very immature adolescence things that we have to go through. We have to figure out whose energy correlates with our energy. We have to figure these things out. I know there's people out there who go, no, MJ, I had a lot of friends in high school. Did you have a lot of friends? Or did you have a lot of acquaintances? Did you have a lot of people who you knew? Did you interact with those people? I mean, today, some of these classes, there's 900 and some odd people. I mean, if you were with that same 900 and some odd people from day one, then I can understand how you might have been able to have made relationships all the way through 12 years. But I don't know where I come from. We were in different, like our kindergarten was somewhere else and our first grade was somewhere else. And then we got all together except for a few people. And then in middle school, we kind of there's more people who came in. And then in high school, there was more people who came in because they were bringing all the elementaries and everything else together all into one. I don't know. Every state has a different belief. Every state has that kind of system, but that system for the same, doesn't matter, 7 to 12, that time frame, we are figuring out who we are and making our own art of the deals of what our likes and our dislikes, Barbie and Ken, when I was 7, was my hot list. If you didn't have Malibu Barbie and Malibu Ken, you were not on my friends list. That's just how it was, right? I'm sure somebody out there had a Spider-Man action figure or G.I. Joe, and if you didn't have that, you were not on my friends list, right? If you didn't like what I liked, you were not on my friends list. How far did you think that got us 7, 8, and 9 years old? That got us, you're my friend, you're not my friend. You're my friend, you're not my friend. Right? That's where that got us, over a Barbie or over anything, right? Whatever it was that you really wanted and liked at the time. Now we start, look at how that worked. Now we start the art of manipulating, right? It's a manipulation of the art of the deal, of how I need to get what I want. Where did we pick that up? Well, we can always go back to, it's our older brothers and sisters, right? Showing us the way. Or is it really our parents showing us the way? Is it really our teachers showing us the way? Is it really those around us as adults? A child cannot manipulate unless the adult shows a manipulation process. It's a conditioned mechanism. It's an old belief pattern. I'm smiling because I am sure you're sitting out there going, get the heck out. Nope. However you manipulate in life is how your parents and your teachers showed you, and your family has showed you how to manipulate to get what they want at the art of the deal. You can say manipulate, you can say balanced, but is it truly a balanced thing? Plausible, right? I don't mind doing dishes if somebody wants to cook. I don't mind cooking if somebody else wants to do the dishes. This is the art of making the deal, even in the relationships when the children are not involved or anybody else is not involved. Now you're just everyday life, right? Or if somebody says, I'm a man, so I'll take care of the outside gardening. I'll do the lawns. I'll do, everything on the outside. You do everything on the inside. Well, for some, that's a great balance. For some, that's not a good balance. For some, they like to get their little vitamin D action and do something outside. Maybe they like to cut grass. So are we stereotyping the man versus the woman role? Are we manipulating that role? Are we staying in the old belief pattern? And it's all good if you are. If you like to do the homemedics things, then no harm, no foul. We're like right in there. If you like to do the outside stuff, and not do the inside stuff, well, right there you are again. But make sure the other person is balanced, right? So when we go through this thing, now we're learning between 7 and 12 how to manipulate what it is that we want, right? Do we have to cry for the art of the deal? Do we have to throw our temper tantrums, or is that the baby from the newborn to the 6-year-old? Is that that point? Because that's 7, 8, 9. This is that awkward age in life where we're going to have to figure out, do we act like a baby, or are we trying to act like the teenage adult thing? What are we trying to do? Right? And I'm laughing because I can see my stupid self again. And cancel, clear, delete. Stupid is in the nicest way for them because, that's just who we are. So where are we? Where are we at that age bracket? Can we already see how we have made the art of the deal coming into fruition as an adult now? Because we have been conditioned and we have been patterned, and it depends on who our family are and where we grew up. Depends on how much other things that we have to do. Joel, I don't know if you can hear that. Do you hear the Canadian? My windows are open. It's a beautiful day here in northern Pennsylvania. And it's so funny because you can hear the Canadian geese. And I almost thought you were playing my birds for a second. I was like, wait, is he playing my birds or are they the geese? Anyway, can you hear him, Joel, or no?
I can't.
No, okay. They're very loud. So if you are hearing birds, they are Canadian geese because my windows are open and they're very fun. And thank you. I see you there, video with Jay. And thank you. When I say stuff like that, I always go cancel, clear, delete because I know I'm not stupid. I am as brilliant as my freaking vessel will allow me to be. But anyway, we're back to the art of the deal. So now we can understand how people in our life are folding us into the human beings that we are. And if the art of the deal that you did a manipulation at such a young age, 7 to 12, well, guess what? You have become a vision of an adult manipulator to get the deal accomplished that you want. And sometimes there's a very good knack of people who can do that. And they get paid very well to be that person. Some people like to be that person. Some people do not like to be that person. Some people are like, ooh, that's a lot of karma. Manipulation. Yeah, well, for some it is. For some, maybe they are manipulating in a way where they're not necessarily manipulating for karma. And you're like, how can that be, MJ? Okay. Well, in war times, are we going to manipulate so that people no longer are being killed? We can manipulate our foreign adversaries into balance of love and peace. Why can't we do that? I don't know. I don't know why we can't do that. But sometimes manipulation is in a negative form. It's more of honest parallel. And you can say, oh, you do that in the front line. No, you're damn right. You're not. So maybe the art of the deal is a learned process for your life purpose and your soul purpose. And we're going to get to that. But hold on. Okay. Because we're still on 7 to 12. And 7 to 12, you're going to find that these areas are what you took in. And now you've created this huge manifesto going into your adulthood now because you got away with the art of the deal with manipulating, or you got away with the art of the deal by communicating and working it out. Well, wait a minute. We have somebody hot and heavy. Okay, time out. Everybody time out. Let's talk about this. Where are we at? Why are we upset? Okay, well, if we didn't do that and we were not coached by our parents or our teachers to do that, and I can tell you we were not in the 80s, in the 70s, or in the 60s. We were not coached to do that. We were coached to make a deal, and that deal was honored by a handshake, right? A man of my word. How many times have you ever heard, I'm a man of my word, please, 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 promise, I promise you, I promise, I'll do it, I promise, and it doesn't do it. So the art of the deal back of the 60s and 70s with that handshake and your word, man, that's come a long way. There is nothing there now. It is just nothing. And it's kind of sad, but it's okay because we have all types of people in this world. And what do we say? Father, forgive them because they have lost their way. Father, forgive my part for not communicating. Father, forgive me for not asking them more details, right? You can't get angry if the art of the deal that you made is the wrong side of the art of the deal. It is not that at all. Thank you. Thank you. I am king, or J am the king. Jam the king. What is it? Is it J am the king or Jam the king? Which one is it?
Jam the king.
Is it Jam?
It's Jam the king.
Jam. Oof. Oof. I don't know why I stopped on that.
I didn't mean to throw you off.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm thinking about it. Jam. I'm thinking peanut butter jelly jam. No, I'm only kidding. Jam the king. There he is. Jam.
Peanut butter jelly time.
That's right. Peanut butter jelly time. Or maybe it's the king time. Jam the king time. Who knows? I'm playing with you. Thank you for coming in. I'm playing with you. There he is. He's laughing. Good. Because you know I'm playing. So we have to figure that out. And I have to take another break. But that is a very challenging age bracket. And I want you all, while we're on this next song, I really want you to think about 7 to 12, because that was a very impressionable age. So look back at that inner child right now as we go to break, because that inner child is where the art of the deal as an adult came from. Here we go.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.net.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
I love third class. How many times you have to hear me say it? Walk into the light. So what I started doing is I started putting all the artists up on the underneath and who they were and the name of the song. That way, if you want, these are all veteran singers and we're here to support all of our veterans. So please, please, please go to Spotify, go to Apple, go to, I don't know, there's so many things, or just go to them, Third Class, and support them because they have such beautiful music. And of course, I like that one because it's going into the light, and we all have to find our way into a more positive, conscious world. And the only way to do it is see why we are the who we are's and why we are's and why we do things the way we do them. And they all stem from man, how we have been in a conscious flow of listening and learning from all of our people around us. What's he say? Hi, I thought you were gonna. No, it's 9 to 11 every day there, Jam the King. It's 9 to 11. So I have every 15 minutes we go on a break, and these beautiful, beautiful artists sing for us and allow us to play their music. So enjoy. So we're going to get back now. So we were talking about the art of the deal and how, as an adult, the art of the deals succumb to us. No, we are not talking about Mr. Trump or this administration or his book. This is the true, what is the art of the deal? What does that mean? And so we know that we've already talked about at the beginning of the show at birth, how we were part of all kind of deals. Then from 7 to 12, which is really our influencing of our years. People say under 6 years old. Well, you can already see how under 6, the manipulations and the art of the deal being met with our parents or our younger or older siblings. And well, I couldn't really have younger, but older siblings when we were born. And then now we might have some younger siblings where now we have learned from our parents or from our older brothers and sisters or our friends how to manipulate. So now we have a younger brother and sister, and now we manipulate. And you see this all the time where the child gets a toy, the younger child will get a toy, and the older child will go, here, I'm going to let you now after a year, I'm going to let you play with my toy. You give me this new toy, right? The art of the deal, and a mind that is just loaded with great ideas, right? And this is how this manipulation starts to take place, and how the art of the deal starts to get very crooked. If you don't have somebody there saying, okay, let's talk about this. I understand what you wanted to do, but that was purely a manipulation. You manipulated somebody, even though you wouldn't want them to play with your toy for a full year. And now because they have a toy that you want, you're going to manipulate them by saying, here, you can play with this toy, and I'll go ahead and I'll play with that toy, because they're a younger brother or sister, and you feel that you have authoritative controlling and you can do all these other things. So this is now where the younger child of the group, right, gets the manipulated, gets the art of the deal that is not very nice, the art of the deal. So now we move on. We move on to the teens, right? 13 through 19. The teens. Oh, the teens. The teens get even harder with art of the deal, because now they have to really use a lot of thought, because most of the times in your teens, your parents or your babysitters or your teachers or your governors or your guardians, wherever you are at as a teen, now the authoritative figure side comes in, and now we are now trying to manipulate the authoritative figure. At 13 and 19, our egos are so blown out of proportion, we don't even fear a death. So thinking that we fear a spanking might even be out the window. I know. Rough ages, which you find. That's why good old Uncle Sam in the good old USA takes people at 18, because they're deities. They're immortal. They will fight. They will jump off cliffs. They just, this thing here, this frontal lobe, it just isn't there. So they don't have the fear factors that more people who are more mature, more developed might be able to go through and go, ooh, this might not be working for the betterment of all of us, right? So when you see that, now you're like, ooh, this is not a good thing. And we have to figure out now how we unmanipulate our manipulation, because now we have that going on. We have the issues of, in those teens that we know all. We even know more than our parents as teens, because we always like to confess saying, you just don't understand. How many people out there? You can raise your hand. You can go in here and raise your hand if you want, all you out there. How many people out there on those ages, 13 to 19, knew more than your parents? You snuck out even though they asked you not to, or you defied them, the art of the deal. I'll let you go to the movies, but you need to be back here by midnight. You need to be back here by 11. How many people were there by 11 or 12? Or how many of us in those years just manipulated our parents to the utmost fullest? How many did we disrespect? Well, a lot of us did, right? If we're going to be honest with ourselves, they were our trials and tribulations in our teens, 13 to 19. Trying to puff up our chest like Tom Turkey, trying to overpower authoritative figures, trying to see this is where heavier discipline was always in an action between 13 to 19 in the school systems, because they're obviously whatever they learned from birth to 12 did not sit well within a community or a social community type of atmosphere. They weren't following the rules per se, right? We got to follow the rules. We got to follow the morals. We got to follow what life is giving us inside of the time frame that we were all born, right? You always hear me reference on this show that thank God we evolved. Thank God we have old belief systems that we don't use anymore, or we'd be throwing our virgins in the volcano, or we'd be bludgeoning our firstborns, right? We don't do this anymore. So we know we've evolved. So why don't we evolve even more with man controlling and manipulating pure thoughts, pure intent, pure honesty, pure communication? If you have all of these items, I'm sorry to say, but you're not going to have a hiccup unless somebody is so unhealed that your truth brings them problems. Again, Father, forgive them. They have lost their way. Father, forgive my part of which, whatever I played to make this human upset. Have you ever spoke and then somebody got very angry? And you're like, where did it come from? I don't even understand what I did. I don't even understand why you're that angry, right? Then you have the people who manipulate. So now we're out of the teens, and now we're in that young adulthood, man. And sometimes it could be the most blessed, beautiful thing on the face of the earth, or it could be the hardest struggle you've ever faced. And that's the 20 through 30. 20 through 30s is the world of adulthood that I don't know about anybody else. I don't want to live through that again. That was really difficult. Figuring out that the monies my parents paid for me to just have a pop or go have a piece of pizza, they were all of a sudden they became expensive. And that was even in the 80s. I was like, what? Or I wanted a pair of new shoes, or I had to pay rent, and then I had to pay. And then I didn't, I really, because I thought I was so super rich with the money that I did have, I just wanted to go and spend it. Right. Thank God I was in the military, because then I spent it and then I didn't have money for food. So thank God I can at least go and have my food, because, when you're young and you're foolish and you're trying to figure out life in all the wrong ways, now you're in real deep doo-doo, because your art of the deal wasn't really a deal, right? I was in Vegas, 20. And what happened with me is, I'm just going to spend $100 at the casino. I'm not going to spend any more. There went the 100, there went the 150, there went the 200, there went the 250. And all of a sudden, you don't have money to pay your rent. You don't have money to even buy a drink. And you're like, what did I do to myself? What the heck did I just do to myself? Exactly. Jam the king. Exactly. So the art of the deals gets us into a lot of issues with our friends, our family, our co-workers, our bosses, and everybody else when we want to manipulate. The manipulation factors were supposed to be done as a child, so we can learn those life lessons. To understand that manipulating causes feuds, causes fights, causes emotions, causes all kind of negative event patterns that we don't want to go through. So here's what I say to you as an adult who are still under those manipulations. Stop it. Because not only are you losing friends, you're also losing attendance. You're also losing those people to love you. The more love vibration and the more peace and happy vibrations of those that surround you is the higher vibrations that we pull in life, and the calmer that our life is. But when we try to manipulate to get what we want, right? And you see this a lot at Christmas time, because you have the Black Friday, right? And now we manipulate store clerks. We manipulate people, and you see it on the news all the time, fighting over a damn toy that was on our child's list. I'll never forget the Bubbas. Like, my child was infatuated with Bubbas. Well, my husband at the time went and did all these things to try to find this Bubba for my daughter. Well, it got to the point where it is sad, Jim. It is very sad. But these are learned conditions that we got from growing up that we have to learn. So where's the anger and resentment of the adults in these lines trying to get the child's Christmas list? It becomes another major issue, right? So how do we get around those manipulations? Well, if you are that angry over a Christmas list, then we have more to talk about than just your child's not happy on Christmas Day, because we've manipulated, or the art of the deal of Christmas has been forgotten. The art of the deal at Christmas was to talk about Jesus Christ, the birth. What did he say? I need to stop blinking, because every time I blink, I miss a second. It's making me mad. You can rewind it. That's the thing about podcasts there, Jim. You can always go back. You can always...
Looks like you got a potential stalker there, MJ.
It's okay. If whoever this is learning and you know me, then that's great. That's okay. Exactly. It's all good. So I am okay with however you look at that life learning lesson, and you should be too. Because if you are better today than you were yesterday, then you have learned the art of the deal, right? And we're going to get to the laters here, because now in the 20s, you're going to school and you have to, your college, and you're getting your OJT, and you're figuring out your life purpose, and you're figuring out where you need to be and how you're going to get the prosperity that you need, or all the other abundances. And so that's at the main front of the scope in the art of the deal. But I know I got to take another break. So hang on, and we will be right back. I'm MJ with the World of Conscious Positive Thinking. You're listening to MBRadio.us right here, where the veterans always have a voice.
It's time for a vacation, and Fairway Travels is here to share great specials for you to choose from. Discover the charm and features of one of Sandals' 16 all-inclusive, luxury-included, adults-only resorts, or a family-friendly beaches destination in the Caribbean. Or how about a couples resort in Jamaica? If cruising's your preference, get thunderstroke aboard Carnival Cruise Lines, or set sail on an award-winning Royal Caribbean ship. Join Virgin Voyages now for a wonderful adults-only sailing. It doesn't matter if you choose to travel by plane, train, automobile, cruise ship, or rowboat, we can help you reach your dream destination. Contact Fairway Travels today at 228-365-1012. That's 228-365-1012. Or email bookitnow247@gmail.com. Fairway Travels, where your journeys keep satisfying.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
So Fairway Travels, he is one of our sponsors. He's also a DJ. It is the Freedom of Struggle. That is his podcast. His name is Red, or Kent Skeleton, and he does the cruises. In November, he is making a cruise for the MBR crew to go on there. It's all for veterans, military, active, whatever. Anybody can actually go if you're listening. But the MBR staff will be going live on that cruise and doing their podcast. So it should be a really beautiful 7 days for everybody who is going to enjoy that adventure. Please go to Fairway Travels or get in touch with Red. You can get in touch through Red through his email, which is freedomofstruggle@mbradio.us, or you can go right to mbradio.us, and that information will be given to them as well. And that's how you can get in contact with them, or play it back and look at all the little information that was on that commercial. And I am sure then that you can get your your go ahead and get on that cruise and ships ahoy with them. So, okay, let's get back to the art of the deal. So now we went from birth, then we went from the 7 to 12 and 13 to 19. Now we're in the 20 to the 30s, where the struggle really begins to honor our consciousness and honor our positive views and decide, who are we? Where have we come from? What is it that we truly need in our art of the deal? How is it that we can continue the path of our existence and how we need to get things? So the art of the deal was really advantageous for kings, queens, and cavemen and those nomadics, because they were trading, they were bartering. So when you think about the 20 to 30 year olds and you think about the longevity of Earth, then you have to have that concept going, oh my goodness, that is really something to think about, because the art of the deal, they would not have eaten. If they didn't bring the right trade goods, they weren't eating. So is our survival in this age bracket, in this type of age bracket, are we really believe that it is time for us to actually start laying down some boundaries, laying down some rules, laying down fundamentals of who we are, and then start to follow those? And hopefully you've laid down those boundaries and fundamentals in a positive way. Well, I didn't like how this happened to me, and I'm not going to manipulate somebody and just because I want something. We're going to communicate to see how I can grab this. We do it when we buy our first car. I mean, 20 to 30s, we're buying our first car. Most of us, because, as we learn to drive, we usually got a clunker. In my family, we got everybody else's deranged vehicle or bumpered up vehicle and got it passed down. And me being the baby, guess what? I got all the bumpers. I got all of the cars that had more dents and more everything in it. But as I said when I was 16, I am still gracious, thankful, with grace and humility, because I had 4 wheels and a lot of my friends didn't. So at least I had my own car. No matter how banged up it was, it had AC, it had heat, it had a defrost, and I had 4 wheels. So I got to go whenever I wanted to. And to me, that was the art of the deal. Here you go. I'm going to give you this car. However, she's a little beat up or whatever. It's the art of it's fine. I'll take it. At 16. So my art of the deal was full of grace and humility and happiness. So I remember those types of arts of the deal. In my 20s and 30s, here we are buying a car. Art of the deal again. You have to go with these used car salesmen or the regular car salesmen, and you just want to look, and they're all over you. And they keep pestering you, and they keep wanting. And finally, you're either at that point, at that moment, you're either like, oh my God, just go away, or you walk off the thing going, I'm not interested. Because they had pestered you so bad and so in a way that now you just don't want any of it. You literally just, all right, I'm just going to go to another one. Then you start online, right? Now you're online, and now you start looking at things online or in the newspapers because you can't stand their type of art of the deal. You're not into it, My daughter, here you go, 20 to 30s. She's looking for a new vehicle. So when I went down to Florida here this last time, she goes, how long are you going to be here? She goes, I want to trade in my vehicle. She wanted me to make the art of the deal. She liked how I made the art of the deal. She didn't feel that she could do it with the car salespeople. And sometimes you have to play their game. And I told her, you go in with the amount and that's it. Know what you can cut from their MSRPs, and this, no. I'm not. I don't care that you had to ship it, that you're a dealer. I'm not paying that. They're either going to want the money or they're not. And so you flat out tell them, I understand you get a commission. I understand all this. And I understand this is how much money I have. So either we're going to make it work or we're not. You don't want it to work? I'm sure there's another dealer or another person who will take my money. And you walk out. But your wants to make the art of the deal, you have to step back You can't want it so much that you're just going to give everything away, right? It's like giving the clothes off your back. You got to figure out the balance. We need to use bikes, but it's fine if you don't use them. But I think we need to use bikes because when we use cars, the gas in the car goes to the air and pollutes the earth. Okay, there you go. So, damn the king, then there's the art of the deal. Your art of the deal is trying to save the earth. That's how that works. So you are going to try to convince everybody that polluting the earth and not using a bike or getting back to exercise. But I got to tell you, sweetheart, I would not use a bike to travel from Pennsylvania to California. I wouldn't. I would have to use a car, a train, a plane, something. Or I just won't make it. But I understand your communicable everyday errands, use a bike. I live in the mountains. I am minimum 15 miles into town. I'm not so sure I would ride my bike into town on a daily basis for bread, food, or water. So the art of the deal that you're making with me at the moment, it may not work. Now, if I was living like inside the town, or if I was living in a city, yeah, I would definitely use another form of transportation than my own vehicle, because it is, how many vehicles are going to try to be in it? I used to use the Metro Rail a lot when I lived in Miami to try to go downtown Miami. I wouldn't try to take my car down there. It was almost impossible. And parking was $20 or more. I'm not going to pay it. It's ridiculous. So yeah, use a bike. There's now a whole bunch of bike stuff at the metro stations in Miami. They have, you can put your bike and you can even put it in a nice little case in case it rains, lock it up. They have all kinds of things now. So yeah, I agree with that. Make the art of the deal and make it, that there it is. The art of the deal. There's your senators, your congressmen, your judges, you have to vote. Your right as a citizen is to pay your taxes and vote. That's the two rights of a United States citizen. And when you vote, they're making the art of the deal, right? They're always there. I'm scared to use the planes. Oh, well, then you'll have to use a train. Sometimes those trains will use coal or steam. So you might have to use one of those then. So, yeah, so the 20 to 30 is making the art of the deals as an adult now. How are you going to buy the car or the house that you want? Or are you going to pay rent? And how's it going to work out with the rent? The art of the deal. Unfortunately, in today's world, because of some, the art of the deal is no longer going to be the handshake or you have my word. Because when you have a handshake and you give a person your word and you turn around and you squander it, that hurts. That hurts. That is no longer a viable source, is you have my word. Because the word of most outweighed the word of the few. And that's very, very, very unfortunate. And that sucks. Because now you can't just give your word like you did in the 60s and the 70s with a handshake. Now they want, to do any type of rent. And then I can only talk about Miami. My daughter had to have 5 months rent. 5 months. FP&L in Miami, you have to have an $800 deposit. Actually, it's between $200 and $800, depending on your credit and depending if you ever had an FP&L account, blah, 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 blah. But you have to now put money because the art of the deal, you have my word, is no longer there. You have my bank account. So the art of the deal is you give me electricity and I'm going to pay. But then all of a sudden you got electricity for a month and you don't pay. Where's the art of the deal? These are all the 20 to 30s. This is what happens. This is now where our art of the deal have to really stick. Now let's say you're a business student. Okay. Got out of the military. Now you're a business student. And now you're trying to make an art of the deal with business. It's challenging. Very challenging. Because now we are taking what we learned in our practice from being born with our family, then our siblings, then our peers and friends, and then those around us in our community, to our teachers, to our babysitters, to now how functional were we as adolescents with either our puppy loves or our peer social groups, or how we were art of the deal with our teachers and our testings, and how we had the art of the deal getting into colleges. And there's so many things that we played the art of the deal with. And here we are, the prime of our life, 20, 30-year-olds. 20 and 30 years old, this is where we really accomplish a lot of our lives, right? We're either childbearing, or we're finishing our careers in college or masters or our doctrines. We are finishing up our years in the military, either our 4, 8, 12-year military run. So these are very impressionable times where we buy our cars, we buy our houses, we start leasing, we start renting, we start negotiating at auctions, and we start bidding. Art of the deal at auctions. Was it really a good deal at the auction? Did you allow your want to get bid all the way above you? Some of us want something so bad that the worth, and we all know MJ doesn't like the word worth, that now we have the worth. What was it worth to you? What is it worth to them? Well, at an auction, you find out real quick that worth, because they are bidding way above you for things that are crazy. Sometimes they are a bit crazy in pricing, and you have to know that. Do your due diligence, and go ahead and open up, the internet and find out what they're selling at. Go to the shopping side of the tab of Google, and you'll see on the shopping tab how much it goes for. Or you'll see on eBay how much it's being sold or how much other people are willing to pay. That's the art of the deal, right? Knowing the budgets, knowing the limits, knowing where, if you just want it, that's the art of the deal is nothing for you, because you are going to do whatever it is that you're going to do in order to have that type of money, in order for you to be able to purchase it, right? There's no art of the deal. That is just knowing. It's kind of like knowing you need milk. There's no art of the deal with milk. It's monopolized. So that means the government holds how much it is on every course. There's a ceiling and there's a floor. So that's not really an art of the deal. The art of the deal is making it so that you are honored, your balance, and you're upfront. So buying your cars, paying your bills. This is the due diligence of art of the deal. The deal was the bank was going to give you $5,000 credit card limit. The deal was that you're going to pay it. You're not going to not pay it and then commit bankruptcy, or you're not going to pay it, and then you're going to go back and the bank's going to say, okay, pay half. Think about the banks. How do you think the banks feel with so much debt? Because consumers just want and want and want and want and want. If I owned the bank, do you really think I would want your debt? If you own the bank, do you want somebody else's debt? But the banks are willing to give you the money, willing to give you a credit. But if you abuse that, your word, your signature is your word when you apply and you get it, and then you don't pay it. That's not a good outcome. That's a very, really bad karma. We need to flip that pattern. I just realized we need to go and take another song. So let's go to, where's the hero? Let's do our hero. The best patriotic song. You can't say hero without her. Here we go. I'm MJ with the World of Conscious Positive Thinking. You're listening to mbradio.us, and we are going on break. Be back.
Signed up to fight for freedom. What a price you had to pay. Picture in her helmet, missing family every day. Your Lady Liberty, dressed like G.I. Jane. Some scars we'll never see. she will never be the same. She's a mother, she's a daughter, she's a sister and a friend, standing tall in that uniform until the very end. When Uncle Sam called, she signed that line to serve, 'cause you can't spell hero without her. On that old dusty base with the meadows that shine, she's been to hell and back for the stars and the stripes. Your Lady Liberty, dressed like G.I. Jane, and some scars we'll never see, and she will never be the same. She's a mother, she's a daughter, she's a sister and a friend, standing tall in that uniform until the very end. When Uncle Sam called, she signed that line to serve, 'cause you can't spell hero without her. Yeah, yes. For the ones that didn't make it, we will pause and then we cry. We can still see their smile in every sunrise. She's a mother, she's a daughter, she's a sister and a friend, standing tall in that uniform until the very end. When Uncle Sam called, she signed that line to serve, 'cause you can't spell hero without her. 'Cause you can't spell hero without her.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
And here we are. We are back. And that was Coffee Anderson. You can't spell hero without her. It's another beautiful song. Thank you, Coffee, so much for such beautiful words. And as a reminder that the women are here as well. And that was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much. So here we are. We're doing that struggle, that 20 to 30 struggle. And now we are that young buck, that young vixen, right? That comes into a work environment. And that's around 20, let's just say 26 to 34, right? Now we have to sell us. We are there now going to sell us. And when we go and we sell us, it might be very difficult to fit in. It might be very difficult to honor where we are and where we have been, what we are doing, being such a greenhorn, being so young. And you'll hear it from the elders going, oh, we got a greenhorn. Oh, we got a boot. Oh, look, we got a little one. Oh, look, we got, and you're thinking, oh my God, I just did 20 something years of my life in school and struggling and working to get where I am and get this job. And here I am being ridiculed, art of the deal, right? How do we balance? Do we come in with all of our guns blaring? Do we come in showing how much we are and what we can do and how we can turn it around and just being that person? Or do we slowly come in and try to just balance and try to fit in and try to understand where everybody's thought processes are and just smile? I would tell you, if you didn't do it like that, then you need to. Because coming in with high energy, high will, high strength, high everything, high emotions can get some of us into a lot of issues, a lot of trouble, right? Or a lot of elders not respecting, right? because your shining star is way too much for them. And it's really on them. But it's also your words, tones, and actions that's going to cause something different. Are you the art of the deal that with just friendship, right? Coworkers. Are you the art of the deal that you want to help your coworkers? But how much are you going to help when then you're going to be the person who goes and uses that against them and talks about them? Art of the deal. The deal was you were their friend. What does the friend mean? Well, let's figure out the definition of friend. Do we have to look it up? I'll look it up for you all. Just because I want everybody to know the art of the deal of a friend. According to the Oxford Dictionary, I'm not looking at you. I'm going to read this. It's a person whom one knows and with whom one has a bond of mutual affection, typically exclusive of sexual or family relations. She is a friend of mine, or he is a friend of mine. 2, it's also a member of a religious society of friends, like a Quaker. These are the 2 definitions according to Oxford Dictionary. So, friend is an exclusive mutual affection between the 2. That has nothing to do with sexuality, has nothing to do with that type of relationship. It has to do with mutual energetic exchanging of 2 people together. The same 2 people that when we talk negatively about anybody, their vibrations go down. So make sure your friend is a very positive, very upbeat person. Make sure that your friend doesn't go back and tell your story to others. It's not their story to tell. Or that your friend knows the art of the deal too. Because let's just face it, if they call themselves your friend and they love you and they're so affectionate about you and they cry in your absence, but then they go and they use their mouth to say things to others, that they'll come back and they're going to say, well, I'll deny ever telling you. But it's the identical words that you used. Art of the deal. No longer the deal, is it? That friend art of the deal is no longer. Or is that art of the deal with that friend who wanted to go and say stuff? Why? To hurt you. It's not a friend. I just read it. A bond of mutual affection. Well, when you're telling people things that may have not been so nice that you spread, or the feelings of others that you spread, you're not a friend. So those tears are yours. It's pretty sad, right? It's sad. Art of the deal in business. I just got it handed to me. So, art of the deal. As everybody knows, for the last 2 or 3 years, I've been selling. I've been selling out to get out of Miami. Miami has become very expensive to live. And as my future, when I started looking at it, there was no way I was going to be able to retire and live the comfortable life that I wanted living in Miami. When I was paying 51% living expenses, that's how much Miami turned out to be. And it was so much inflation and so much money that it's just an easier life to move out. I no longer need the hustle bustle. I no longer need the art of the deal, because the art of the deal, to have me learn some of my life lessons, especially the art of the deal in Miami, was a huge thank you. A huge thank you that I could live somewhere for so long and have all of my life lessons play out in one area. I can say that now. If you would have asked me from 1988 until now, I would have told you it was the most wretched place alive. But now I smile. And now I say thank you. Thank you to all of those who, with the art of the deal, I didn't get, because God didn't want me to have it. No matter my wants and desires, I now can see that. I can see that it wasn't meant for me. It wasn't mine to take or to have. Because of the art of the deal, I almost lost my faith this last time. I took somebody for their word. I trusted their word. I trusted them to be. The last 3 weeks that I spent in Miami were some of the most horrific art of the deal lessons that I had to go through in my entire life. To the point where I almost had somebody take my business right out from underneath me because they gave me his word. And every day with the prayer hands, I swear, I pray. Oh my gosh, I have faith. And I didn't see it coming. I got the story about trying to buy it for his wife as a gift that she had no idea. It was so ugly and so karmatic filled that I did the best that I could to say with a smile, you have no faith. And you are tremendously a liar. And I don't deal with that. I couldn't even imagine my beautiful soul and my beautiful cave that it took so much time and effort and sweat and love to give it to somebody like that. The art of the deal. The handshake. You have my word. The old 60s and 70s. And it's the person that just did that to me. It was ugly. It really was. And then another person's karma who did the exact same thing to me was so angry that this person wanted to buy this cave to do the exact same thing that this other person did to me in such a little historic thing. They couldn't even see the karma playing out divinely. The word, I give you my word. Do you know how many Hispanics and Latinos say that now? I don't know. That's pretty ugly. If you use that art of the deal, you have my word, and then you hurt somebody, the karmatic event on you will come. I promise. With divine order, divine process, divine passion, it will come. For those of you now in my laters after 30s as an adult, for those of you who don't know how to balance with me, that means you have a lot of healing to do because I'm the easiest person to balance with. As long as you don't lie to me and as long as you don't hurt me in any frame, form, or fashion, because I wouldn't do it to you. These are art of the deal. My art of the deal, I still make deals with my mom. My mom, who is 84 years old. I still make deals. Art of the deal. Here's the deal. How about I come down, I pick you up, I bring you back, and then I stay here. Art of the deal. Trying to balance life. Trying to balance those within our life that we love, that we care about, that we want to help, that we want to be that person who they can count on. Right? The art of the deal. I'm not so sure people today, because it's already proven again to me, I would never take somebody's word. I would make them sign something because their word, God help them. There's so much free will that when somebody gives you their word, if it has so many moving pieces, there's too many other free wills that can get involved. Learn it, understand it, accept it. Understand how we can balance, because it's the balance. I sold another company and it was beautiful. We balanced. They understood, that I wasn't here to take anything from them. I was actually here to help them and assist them. Any company I ever sold, I give you 6 months of my time free. And they go, free? I just paid. But you don't have no idea how long it was that I actually did that business, how I actually started it, how I actually rooted it, right? Inflation in times is one thing. Longevity of loyalty is another with your patrons. Learn to understand it. Don't come in business as an entrepreneur and know nothing about business and then lowball people. That's not art of the deal either. That's just ugly. It's a kick in the stomach. And that is for somebody just to tune you out. Attitude, ego. No, I told some of them saying your offer was a kick in the gut, meaning you probably don't know enough about this company that I wouldn't even sell it to you. Because to bottom line somebody who has already told you the numbers and then give them a price because that's only what you could afford, well then why are you looking to purchase it? Because you think that I'll just give it to you? Again, there is so much to the art of the deal that we have to learn. But if we don't control our wants and our desires, the art of the deal will never work. Our ego and our judgment get in the way. And that's what happens. So to have a good art of the deal, everybody wins. It's not one-sided. It's not manipulated. It's not put under pressure. So all of these learned art of the deals from the time you were born was a learning process. Learn it. Sit down, close your eyes, and go back. If you have to have a guided meditation, then do it. So I don't know how else to say it than just be out there and know that your art of the deal has to come from the heart, has to come with love, has to come with caring. And when you make the art of the deal and all sides win, or the majority of all sides win, there's no pushback. There's no nothing. See you, Jam. See you later. So I appreciate really good art of the deals. I appreciate really good art of the deal business-wise because I'm a business major. I like to see the art of the deal when everybody wins. The art of the deal that when you go and you make the art of the deal and everybody thinks it's really balanced and you're hiding information, you are lying. It's not good business strategy. You're lying. There's a difference in good business strategy and lying. Sometimes pain in the art of the deal with friendships, coworkers, business people. Sometimes that is the hardest ones. Or to watch an old friend for so long just be vile, rude, and talk about you. Why? Do you have the art of the deal then? Those people, they become narcissists and gaslighters. They want to tell the world how this is everything that they did. Can you believe the other person? When it was truly on them. I know a few of those right now that I have to deal with in Florida. They talked smack. I didn't know I did anything to them to talk smack, but they did. One of the good things about me is I would never, and listen to me, and I'm going to say it again, I will never say anything out of my mouth that does not come if somebody asks me. I will tell them. I'm a hard truth person. If I know it's going to hurt, then I tell you, this might hurt a little bit, but this is the truth as I know it today. That is communication. If that person on truth gets angry, it's on them. And most of the time, the guilt that person has, they tell on themselves. They'll go around and they'll proclaim how they were the best employee or the best friend, and they did this and they did that, and they can't understand and how they did this and how they did that and blah, blah, blah. And it just goes on and on and on. It's exhausting. And they want to try to brainwash you and convince you what they did. Remember, I did this. I did this. I. Do you understand? There is the ego. The minute you start eyeing, I and I and I and I, that is the ego. It is the judgment. So you smile and you just sit back. You don't even have to say anything because they bury themselves. They'll try. They'll go to a whole bunch of different people and they will try to put you down. That is their art of the deal. Oh, you're not my friend, so here's the art of the deal. I'm going to make this whole army around me. I'm going to build up an army, and it's only going to be you against this. You know those people? I know some of them. It's ugly. It's ugly that the guilty try to outdo the way of the light. But then they want to proclaim that they are light. Then they want to proclaim that they're the healer, that they have so much power, that it felt so good that they did. They still have a lot of learning life lessons. There are the people I don't want their hands on me. I don't know about anybody else, but I don't want their hands on me. I already know. I already know. And so now I smile. Father, forgive them for they have lost their way. Father, forgive any part that I played in this lifetime or a past. That's it. That's all you got to do. I'm done. We're done with love, with balance, with honor and grace. We're done here. I'm happy to have helped you. I'm happy to have given you whatever it is. But I am not going to stand here and be your whipping post because you're angry, you're resentful, or you have just turned into this vile, gossip mongering person that I've ever witnessed. See, these are the things I won't do. They just, I won't do them. So once I find out the art of the deal has been broken, I just go away. Probably for good. I do what I need to do, and then that's it. We just sever. And if we ever see each other again, it's a smile. And ask, how are you? I don't need to fight. I don't need to be ugly. I don't need to shout my mouth off to 10,000 million people. And I sure as hell am not going to get pulled into your drama. That's the flip. Stay out of the drama. So your wants and your desires for the art of the deal didn't happen. That it's not supposed to. Smile and say it's okay. It's going to hurt. Yeah, I'm not saying it's not going to hurt. I'm not saying that. I'm not even saying that it's not even going to be emotionally painful. I'm not saying that either. I'm saying that it is going to sting, especially when your art of the deal on the other side has gone sour. Makes you angry. Makes you want to be mad. Art of the deal. It's like marriages, right? You're that 20 to 30 bracket. Now we're getting married. Think of all the things as adults. You get married and somebody cheats. That's not an art of the deal. That wasn't in the deal. How do we get over that? That one hurts. That takes a very special type of person to get over somebody cheating, because that's a trust. That's love, order, understanding. That's a lot of mind power centers that they just, by the art of the deal, by giving their word. I'm a very special person in my life. His name is Jake Jordan. I'm going to say his name again for all those who know him out there in my fishing industry. His name is Jake Jordan. Jake Jordan Fishing Adventures. That man did more for me in 1998 than anybody in my whole entire life. Because it was that man who I was mentored by. It was that man in 2002 who I was dumbfounded. The art of the deal. I lost my job. I don't even know how I lost my job. I was dumbfounded. The whole fishing industry was dumbfounded that I made this man one of the biggest, best persons with his 3 countries in business and fishing. Put him all over the maps on things. Assisted. That's what was my job. Business developer. And in 2002, because of him and his discretions, I get fired. When I asked why I was fired, he told me that I knew too much. I don't understand. How I know too much? What the hell is that? My beautiful friend, Jake Jordan, He says, I'm going to give you some advice. It's the advice that I live by in this fishing industry, and it's some advice that I'm going to give to you. Any human who cheats as a sacred vow, you only have to give your word to one person and live by that sacred vow. When you can't do that, you are so unloyal, unfaithful, and you have a lot of art of the deal, emotional blocks and traumas in your events of your lifetime, whether it was learned by your parents or your family's ancestral line or in the community that you grew up in. That is not a good art of the deal. And that is really bad relationship karmas. And it takes a very strong person to know that that has happened and keep moving on with that relationship. That you healed it, you balanced it, and you moved on. I'm not going to sit here and tell you everybody should do that. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you shouldn't do it. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to tell you that is your journey. You choose it. But because of Jay Jordan, he was right. If that person could not be even loyal to his own wife, which we all know he wasn't, what makes you think he'll be loyal to any employee or any friend? Think about that. Think about that in your own life. The art of the deal. The art of the deal, will you marry me? Yes. The art of the deal, I promise that I will live for you and only you. I will be your one in health and sickness and wealth, or in poverty, or whatever other dilemma we might get into, right? Do you still honor that? Or did you not honor it? Are you one of those who didn't honor that? Are you in a relationship that had that dishonoring of that sacred vow? Check your own Akashics to make sure it was not in this lifetime or a past lifetime you did it to that person. That's the first start. Is this a debt? Is this a karmatic debt because you did it? Is this where we are? Or is this now a part of you to understand that this just went completely out of play here? This is not what we wanted. Well, however you do it, however you take it, however it is, we need to fix it. We don't want this to go on. We don't want this any further. And we sure as Hades don't need this lingering, because when it lingers, it's devastating for everybody. I just realized we have to go take another break. Start thinking while we're on these breaks. Really start thinking where you were, where you've come from. How is your art of the deal? Start thinking this. This is the lessons that when we go on break to think about what we're talking about on all age brackets, on all levels. This is what helps us. We're going to go to What Once Was. It has the lyrics already up there. So if you want to read those lyrics, maybe it helps jog some of your memory, by Logan Voth. And then we'll be back. This is MJ with the World of Conscious Positive Thinking right here on mbradio.us, where the veterans always have a voice.
Consequence, so wonderful to see you again. You've not shown your face around here since the last time I was in too deep. Now I've been struggling to sleep, and I have to blame that on what I have created. Always with women or drinks, some repetition of things, and that's a tired old cliche, but that does not mean that it ain't the truth. 'Cause I've been absent from you, and I've never felt less careful. Need my father, my mother, even my brother to say, you gotta get your act together. Do not rewrite the days. You can still be productive, you know, without all the hate. Just need to remember who you once were. And I once was quick on the draw, and I once did admit all my flaws. I once was an honest man, and I held your hand when you had to bed. And I once was fresh like the sand. My head moved steady, honey, so did my hands. I once was blessed and true till the day that I lost you. Goodbye meaning, I've been searching too hard to find you now, like some bone in the yard. And I'll keep digging, but only when I have the time, 'cause this world's been moving quickly, too much rhythm and rhyme. And sometimes you just gotta do what makes you feel good. And remember all those nights that you still understood how to be free, how to answer to no one, how to trust like a lover, how to lie like a son. You say this world has got you down, well honey, welcome to the club. I can hardly save enough money to go and see those I love. And we've all but found it, but we're still out of touch. I know we've lost hope a bit, baby, but I hope not too much, 'cause we once were thicker than thieves, and we once were so much easier to please. And we once were alive on the tracks when the wheels came down, you know, I had your back. And we once were younger than now, and we once were all still just plotting it out. And we once ran circles round squares just for fun. We were louder then before we gave up.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
But I once was. And that's what we were talking about, right? So you can change any art of the deal. You can make it right. You can unfold it because you once were. You once did, right? As long as you are better today than you were yesterday, then you are a winner in every aspect of your life, whether it's the art of the deal or not. You are better today than yesterday. And so don't ever allow anybody to take your thunder or your win away. The art of the deal, make sure to keep your side of that deal. And if you can't, you communicate. Communication is the key. A lot of people in today's world that I see the difference of when I grew up into what is now that I'm almost here retiring is the concepts. It's the minds of those. Let's just say if you read an advertisement and you didn't read the small print, or you got caught in the marketing ploy, right? The call to action. There it is. Every business has one, right? It's an up to 50%, but if you didn't read the up to part, and you thought everything in the store was 50%, then you come in all kind of pissed off and Waverly, right? That's not good. That's not good at all. So now what do? Then we go to the next person, and we now see another sign that says free. There was a guy, his name was Matt Schaefer. And he says, he goes, if you ever have to use the term, it was too good to be true, then why would you even go for it? Too good to be true. Where's the communication that we needed? Where is that? That's what we have to learn. We have to learn those aspects. We have to learn that maybe if you saw something that said 50% or free or whatever, you dive in to see what is it that is up to 50%? What is the stuff that is free? How is that going to work in my behalf? Did we ask those questions as humans? Or did we just go to man's thought, theory, and process is to blame others, right? False advertising. That's not what you said. That's not how that happened. Is it because you thought one way and it was another? Think about these things. Before you start getting angry, think about what it is that you read. What is it that you saw? What is it that you thought this was? Your interpretation. Did you get the interpretation wrong because you didn't find out XYZ PDQ? Is it that you feel that you were unjust because, you didn't understand and this is what you wanted? Here we go with the what you wanted again. So what you want between birth and 6 years old, when you had those freaking temper tantrums, and then after those temper tantrums, you got what you wanted? So now as an adult, you're going to throw these freaking temper tantrums and you're going to think you're going to get what you want? You're not that cute anymore. I don't know how else to say that nicely. Because a child at birth to 6 years old, they're tiny, they're cute, and they're puppies. So they tend to break down the heart of an adult and they give in because they don't want to see you upset and crying because you're a child. You see how the art of the deal just manipulated itself? If I do this, this is the attention I'm going to get. Now it's a conditioned. So now we have parents who favor kids or favor, maybe it's the only girl in the family. Or maybe it's the only boy in the family. The hell that you are going to do by doting over them as that, if you don't balance the situation, is going to be horrific as an adult for that child. I'm going to say it again. When you dote over a child, because it's the only child, let's say it's the only girl in the family or the only boy in the family, and you start doting on this child, the other children, if there are, is going to have resentment to you and to the siblings. They're going to. Whether you feel it or not, whether you know it or not, it's going to happen. And that's going to be a harder balance as they start maturing into adults. And now you got to balance it as the parent. Now you have to come clean. Now you got to say something. Now you got to figure out how to do this. Again, Father, forgive my part. I was biased. Forgive my part that I did this. Children don't come with instructions. But when we're mindful and we understand going forward, because we learned this lesson, then hope all of us as a whole can now come back in and literally and say, this isn't good. I didn't need to teach it like that. I didn't, how I taught was maybe not how you understood. Maybe the interpretation of what I was doing is different. And now we start backpedaling, right? Especially as the parent. It's like, damn, didn't think of that. And you can't. And listen, this show is not about me putting it out there for every single one of us to go back to our parents and punish them. Please don't. They did how they were taught. And that is how we evolve. That's how we change. That is the art of the deal. We evolve out of these old belief patterns, these old belief systems. We get out of them. They're very easy to come out of once we understand the negative side of it, or it doesn't exist anymore that way, or it can't function that way. And then we become that better version of ourselves, and that better version with our kids or our friends or our bosses or our coworkers, right? Art of the deal. The art of the deal is to be the best person that you can be for that other person, service to others, not always about service to self. And I didn't say, don't go back and say, MJ said you can only be service to others. I didn't say that. I said, when we become service to others, we have a better rate of the art of the deal. That does not mean that you forget for self-love, right? Self-love and healers being healed is a necessity in this world. It's a necessity part of you. So that being said, I'm almost here at the end. So if anybody, this is now when you have your questions or your emails, this is when I invite everybody to bring them up, bring them in. And if there isn't any, then we thankfully and honorably understand that no matter what we did yesterday, the day before that, or the day before that, or since the time we were born, if we can forgive ourselves and forgive others, then our balance of the art of the deal to be here as life purpose, soul purpose, requires us to have balance. Not saying that people won't be upset. Why? Because there's a lot of unhealed people in this world. There's a lot of people who need help. They can't get out of their anger, their resentment. They can't get out of it. And you find them slamming doors, slamming car doors, throwing things, because you lit a fuse for them. You lit a fuse by talking. If you communicate with somebody and you talk to them, if they're a narcissist, they're going to say it's on you. It's how you said it. It's your tones. It's your words. It's your body language. It's you. How many times you hear that? Right? It's all on me. But you can't communicate with somebody to say, because they have their, what's the word I'm looking for? They have such a self-image of themselves that they get pissed off that you even say anything or you point something out. Well, the art of the deal, when you had this relationship to begin with, the art of the deal wasn't that you're going to come in and be a pig in my house. That wasn't the art of the deal when we decided to go out with one another. Or it wasn't the art of the deal that when we started being friends that you talked and gossiped about me. That wasn't part of that. Or the art of the deal when you give me your word, and your word's supposed to mean God, and you fail again. See, these are things that if you're angry or hurt, or you have gone through those same things, you can take it from me because I've lived through them. Those several. I just push back, right? Father, forgive them, for they have lost their way. But these are my boundaries, and they cannot step in that again. Period. I see them from over there, and I'll smile, and I'll honor them, and I'll love them as the humans that they are, learning their way of life. And that's the art of the deal. That forgiveness, right? That's the art of the deal. That if you are a Christian, your Jesus Christ and Savior came here 2,025 years ago to help you with that art of the deal. Love thy neighbor. Be kind. Send peace. That's the art of the deal. Right there. I'm going to sacrifice my life for you, for your sins. The art of the deal goes right into religion. How far are you with that art of the deal? How far are you with the art of the deal? The 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not covet neighbor's wife or husband. Do you live by those? Thou shalt not judge. Do you live by those? That's the art of the deal. If you are a Christian, that's the art of your deal. That is it. Here's your Bible. Read it. That's the art. Yep. We're human. We screw up. Yep, we're human. And we have to live and make these mistakes so that one day we get our wings. One day we'll fly like champions that we are. And when you do it, you're a hero. You're a hero to all who live within your life. and within your love. That being said, I'm going to end the show with Dallas Alexander with a song. It's called To a Hero. It's one of my favorite songs here at MBR, and it speaks volumes, and it has such resounding words and lyrics. Listen to it. The frequency is a high 400, which is really good because it's hitting those solar plexus where it needs to hit. So sit back and know that you are not alone in this lifetime. You always have a phone that you can reach out and you can call. And you can always call the MBR studio. Our lines on every show are open on the 720-619-0627. I'm going to say it again, 720-619-0627. It's that number that you can call. You can also email. I'm going to do it again. The World of Conscious Positive Thinking at mbr.us. You can always reach me on there as well. So anywhere that you want, you can. So now we're going to go to Dallas Alexander, and we're going to hear To a Hero. And after that, I'll play the closing. But I'll be back. I'll be back tonight here on StreamYard with Terry Lynch. It's called Beyond the Headlines. And we try to make flip patterns there as well. And then after that, you'll see me next week, Monday, back here on my show, 9 to 11. If you want to be a visitor or a guest on my show, write me at the World of Conscious Positive Thinking mbradio.us, and you can become a guest on my show, and we'll do a flip pattern for you right on live so people see how it works. So may the angels carry you with peace, love, grace, joy, happiness, and abundance of what it is that you desire most. To a Hero with Dallas Alexander, and away we go.
To a hero, I say, I hope to see you again on some sunny day. And to a hero, and the love you left behind, I'll try my best to pass it on till the end of my time. And to a hero, you're gone, but I have no doubt that you have made it home. And to a hero, taken way too soon, over there in that dusty country, an Afghan afternoon. To a hero, and the little one you left behind, I hope he grows up with your passion, I'm sure he will with time. And to a hero, a warrior through and through, you were taken way too early, what can we do? Oh, we can try to keep your spirits alive, we can try to be nice, we can not take for granted all the beautiful things in our lives. We can be the change we want to see, and we can listen to the wind pass through the trees, and speak the words we know are true for our heroes. This is what we can do. To all the heroes taken from our lives, at home or in those countries, fighting for what's right. Now we can do this for you and all your kin, and make this world a better place for your kids to grow up in. And we can try to be true, admit when we don't have a clue, and be there with the ones we love until our time is good and through. And we can be the change we want to see, and we can listen to the wind pass through the trees, we can speak the words we know are true for our heroes. This is what what we can do. Yeah, we can try to keep your spirits alive, and we can try to be nice. We can not take for granted all the beautiful things in our lives. We can be the change we want to see, and we can listen to the wind pass through the trees. We can speak the words we know are true for our heroes. This is what we can do. Well, to a hero I say, I hope to see you again on some sunny day. All right, to a hero.
Well, that was Dallas Alexander. Thank you so much to a hero, and thank all of you out there, all of you who are service to others, and I love you all. I do. Firefighters, police, municipalities, governors, Congress, military personnel, those who serve others, doctors, nurses. You understand the peace in your heart. This was a beautiful, beautiful Art of the Deal show, and I am glad to be here. So anybody who wants to reach out, please reach out. Thank you again to beautiful Dallas Alexander for that song, because I think of all of you as to be the hero. See you next week, folks.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.